Hi, and welcome to It Figures. Tonight, I will be reviewing Claptrap from the video game Borderlands. And this is the Gentleman Caller version, made by NECA. So the packaging for Claptrap is very, very plain. It's just a blister pack with a figure in the front and almost no graphics. On the back of the package is an explanation of who the Gentleman Claptrap is. And it's a pretty good read and pretty funny. This is a blister pack, which means the only way to get into it is by cutting your way in. So let's take a look at the Gentleman Claptrap. First of all, he comes with a base, and the base is pretty well detailed actually. If you take a closer look at the base, you can see the stones, and he even has the treads of the tire track that he's sitting on. So that's actually pretty nice. Over here is a hole, and I wasn't exactly sure what it was at first, but it actually helps him stand, because without this accessory he could not stand on his own. So this little stick here is what makes Claptrap stand on his own. And in a second here I will show you how it works. It basically just inserts into the base just like that. And on the back of Claptrap there's a hole that it inserts into that allows him to stand on his own. So let's take a closer look at the figure itself. First of all, out of the package, I'm pretty impressed with this figure. It's a lot more detailed than I thought it was. The tire itself is really nice. As you can see, the thick treads along the bottom of it, and the rim itself looks really cool. Along the front of him you have like a little door that does not open up, unfortunately. Actually, that's not true. After I finished this review, I went back and looked at the door more closely, and in fact it does open up. And you have his mustache, his one eye, and his sort of his tuxedo looking paint job that he has. The top hat is actually pretty well done too. It's permanently attached on there, but it even has like a small detailed diamond on the back side of it. Over the top of Claptrap you see more detail. There's like a little vent here, and there's an antenna, and on the back, as I showed you before, this is where the pole fits into, and the detail around it is really, really cool. And if you see these lines, they almost look like they're carved into it, but that's actually paint. And it's extremely clean and very, very well done. His arms are very thin, but like the rest of the figure, they're really cool with a bunch of electronics and wires and whatnot. And underneath the arms, they even have more detail along the side of the figure. So now let's take a look at articulation. This is what really surprised me more than anything on this figure. First of all, the wheel obviously turns, but what I wasn't expecting was it does actually turn from the left to the right, and not only does it do that, it actually goes up inside of him a little bit and pulls out as well, and it goes back and forth. The flaps on both sides of the arms, I wasn't expecting them to move at all, but actually not only do they move a lot. They push up pretty far to where you can see the detail inside the shoulder joints. As for the articulation on the arms, they have a lot more than I thought as well. The shoulders actually move up and down and back and forth, but you gotta be very careful with it because they're so thin you don't want to break them. The elbows also bend and they rotate. The hands themselves, however, are solid and they do not move. There's actually a few hidden things on here that also move that when I was playing around with it, I would have never known, much like the shoulder flaps. For one thing is there's a flap above his eye here, and it actually moves as well. And if that's not enough articulation for you, there is another piece that again surprised me. I touched it and I actually thought I had broken it because it was moving and I wasn't expecting it to, and that is there's an antenna that comes up on his back. So with a surprise articulation and really nice paint job, there are a few more things about Claptrap that I wasn't expecting. The accessories, for example, these were actually sort of hidden behind the front of the logo on the package, so I didn't even know they were in there. So first off, you have a pair of really cool cufflinks. And then you have a monocle. As you can see, the cufflinks fit really bizarrely on each wrist, but as the rest of the robot looks, it works with it. As for the monocle, I could not figure out how to actually put it onto his eye and keep it there. So unless somebody knows this, you can leave a comment down in the comment sections, but I, for one, could not figure out how to keep it on his eye. However, while I was playing around with it, trying to get it on there, I found yet another sort of hidden articulation. His eye actually moves. So let's bring up the old Figglemeter and see how Claptrap stacks up. I'm rarely really surprised with a figure once I take it out of the box, because pretty much a lot of times when you see it in the package, it's what you get. But this is definitely not one of those times. I was really impressed with this figure. From all of the articulation, even some of the hidden articulation, to the very clean paint job. If you're a fan of Borderlands, and if you really like Claptrap, this is an amazing figure. While it might be a different version of him than you see in the video game, it's still a fun version. So I would have to give Claptrap a 5 out of 5. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's It Figures, and I shall see you next time.